So I was thinking about something this morning, and I wanted to share it with you all. Fixing to head out to go to work, and I always take a second of a morning and look up at the sky, whether it be a sunrise or the stars, depending on what time of the morning I go out. But this morning it's the stars, and I looked up and just took a moment and was looking at them, and it got me to thinking. When I was back in grade school, we went to a planetarium, and I remember walking into that planetarium, and it was a completely round room, and they turned all the lights out, and they have these projectors that project the stars and the constellations up on the ceiling. And I was probably second, third grade, something like that, so I was very young, and I remember thinking how big that room was. I mean, it was huge, and it was just like looking up at the sky, the night sky. And I went back years later to that same place and took my daughter when she was about that age, and I said, I want you to experience this. I said, this place is huge, and it's just like looking at the sky. And we walked in, and it was just this little round room, just the size of, a couple of living rooms put together. And I thought, wait a minute, is this the same place? Of course it was. It was the difference in the view from a set of eyes of a second or third grader to an adult, and I got to thinking about that this morning, and about how the same thing in this big world can look so different to two sets of eyes. And you're probably wondering where I'm going with this, so stay with me. I got to thinking about that, and as I drove through town the other week, I was going to the post office, and I passed a homeless man, and I got to thinking about him. I'm a deep thinker, obviously, but I got to thinking about him and about things we don't probably think about a lot. But I thought, where does he go to shower? Where does he go to sleep? Where does he go to get in out of the elements? Well, as I went in the post office that day, the post office was closed. Obviously, the people weren't there, but the post office itself was still open for the post office boxes and such. So I was there to check our P.O. box. And I thought to myself, I looked around, and I thought, well, I guess if I was homeless, this would be somewhere I could come in and get out of the elements. And I thought, I'm probably the only person that's walked in the post office today and thought that, But my point is, this world looks different with every two sets of eyes. We all look at it different. We all see it different. I think it's important to remember that. It's important to acknowledge that. I don't know if I've conveyed this message in a way that you get it the way I got it this morning. I feel like I didn't, but I hope I did. I wish I could come up with some other examples, but just be mindful that because you look at something and see it the way you see it, somebody else looks at it and sees it a different way. It's kind of like the old one man's junk is another man's treasure. What I might throw out because it's old and dusty and no good is an antique to somebody else. Just be mindful of that, especially through the holidays. Things aren't always as they appear, and that two sets of eyes will see it different. Just because you see something one way doesn't make it right. That makes it the way you see it. Hope you got something out of this morning. Love y'all.